1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Jesus.
Scissors.
I'm a guy.
Scissors. Jeez. What's up, everybody? I'm Tony Guerin with RE/MAX Sled Professionals, Guarantee.com, results that move you. I'm here with my man, Jade Capella. He works with Motto Mortgage. He's one of the loan officers I use all the time. Right now, we have a deal going, and I'm telling you, this guy's very good at what he does. So thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, man, anytime. I appreciate you.
No worries, no worries. Today we're gonna have a little chit chat, and we're just gonna talk about different loan programs you have.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about first-time home buyers. We're gonna talk about interest rates and probably a few more subjects. But go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself first, Jay.
Yeah, no, man. So I have a history of service. I have about 10 years worth of military service and civilian law enforcement service. So
Wow, thank you for your service.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So after my military and civilian law enforcement time, I started to get into real estate and started Motto Mortgage about 3 years ago.
Nice.
And it's been a blessing ever since.
Nice, nice. So it seems like you've been doing mortgages a lot longer than that, because every file that you're working with me is just on time. You get right back with me every time I reach out to find out what's going on with a file, and you keep me updated without even me asking.
No, dude, I appreciate it. I think it's a reflection of the people that I've been around, knowing the business and knowing what's required to make a transaction smooth and seamless.
Right.
So my team, I am very fortunate to have. My processors are amazing. So, and then just the leadership and the mentorship that I've had, not only from you, but from Pam Capella, my mother, and just seeing the business
She's
for
great.
the past 15, 20 years, man, and seeing how things should get done. And
You grew up in the business, basically.
Yeah,
huh?
I did. Yeah. So, man, my mom started off as a realtor, and then, I got to see what it's like in the nitty-gritties of it. Then my
Right.
wife is a realtor, so I get to see the nitty-gritties of it. Mom's a broker, I get to see what it's like to
You
run
get
the
it from
company.
every angle.
Yeah, I get to see all of it. So I really got to make sure, hey, man, I gotta.
You better be on point.
Oh yeah, for sure. If not, I'm gonna hear it. So.
Right on.
No, man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, as far as loan programs, what type of loan programs do you offer?
So, I offer, and we offer at Motto, is your traditional, conventional FHA, USDA, qualified mortgages. But I would like to say that we specialize in your non-QM loans, the loans that make people say, I don't think we can get that done.
Really?
I think that is where we are phenomenal at, and that's why the wholesale side of things, which we are wholesale brokerages, we specialize in the ones that make people say, I don't think we can get that done.
Nice.
And then we say, I think we can, because we know some people, we've been around for a long time, and we want to make sure that everybody, no matter their scenario or their situation, we can find a place that can make it work for them financially.
Nice.
So,
Do you have an example of one of those types of loans?
and I think there are too many.
Yeah, there's
too many.
Loans can be difficult. I know this by being in the real estate industry, quite a few years, so I know how tough you guys' jobs are. Now, as far as first-time home buyers, I know some lenders have a conventional loan 3% down. Do you offer something like that?
Not only do we offer conventional 3% down, we'll even offer FHA 0% down for first-time home buyers. And it's the interest rate has a benefit for it. We have appraisal waivers that if the house isn't appraised, if you don't get the appraisal waiver for the residence itself, I'll take care of it for you.
Really?
So
Nice.
We at Motto
What a guy.
offer numerous benefits for first-time home buyers.
Awesome. And as far as first-time home buyers, what's the definition of that?
It's just you have not to have owned a home within the past 3 years. You could, let's just say you owned a home 10, 15 years ago, but you've been renting for the past 10 or 15. Mm-hmm. You haven't owned a home within the past 3, you're qualified as a first-time home buyer.
Nice. Okay, so 3 years.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about some obstacles that you come across. Say you're a first-time home buyer. How can you prepare maybe a little bit better for to get through the loan process and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Biggest thing is income and credit. Make sure that your income is stable.
Yes.
So we can work around the income thing if you've been bouncing around from job to job. Same career field is preferred. Other career fields, those are the hiccups that we've seen in the past. So 2 years stable income, your credit. Make sure whenever you're just going through the loan process, or you're like, hey, I want to go through the loan process in the future, just know that whenever we start stop with the new credit card, stop with the new car,
Right.
stop with all that.
You don't go out and buy a house full of furniture that you don't own yet?
Yeah, no, exactly. Just pause. We'll get the furniture. We'll get the rooms to go.
That's happened to me.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a bit, I promise you, it happened to me. And the last one that happened, it was a person that is an experienced home buyer. And I was like, I don't want to say any names. I was like, what were you thinking? You went and bought basically a whole house of furniture and hasn't closed on his house yet.
Oh, listen, man. I had somebody last week, about a week before we're closing, got a new job. And I was like, no, we made it work. We made it work. We finagled some things.
See,
we made it work.
He makes it happen. I'm telling you, Jade makes it happen.
Yeah.
Now, one thing people get confused about when they talk about debt to income ratio, and I've had this happen, just so people know, and whenever you're kind of, talking with them up front, like, what's your debt? A lot of people like to leave out alimony, child support, student loan debt.
Yeah, those are things that they're going to see in the bank statements.
Right.
They're going to see in all that. So if you are trying to hide something from your loan originator or your realtor up front,
right,
it's just going to hurt us in the long run. So whenever we're asking you what's your current debt,
right,
it's your car payments, credit cards, student loans, alimony, child support. Those things may not show up on your credit report, but it's going to show up on your bank statement when they're taking a look through it.
And that happens every time. And I try to tell people, just be honest with Jade. He's going to get us to the promised land. Just got to be honest with us, and we can work through anything. It might take a little longer if there's some obstacles as far as credit scores and stuff like that, but we will get you there. Correct, Jade?
100%.
Right.
Honesty and transparency is what I say.
Being transparent.
Yep.
Honesty is the best policy. That's what we say, right?
Yep, exactly.
Right on. So as far as interest rates, last year of October, November of 22, they were at 7.08, and then they dropped down to 6.08. Anything between 6 and 6.5 shows a better demand, obviously, like a good buyer demand than whenever it was higher in October, November of 22. Are you seeing like more people out there trying to buy homes right now with today's interest rate than back in the later years?
100%. So far, year to date, I am doing more loans with the interest rates at the 4.5 to the 5.5 mark than I have in the past 2 or 3 years.
Really?
Well, 3 years we're in the 2s, 3s.
Okay.
2 years we're still about there. Last year we're in the 6s, 7s. Now, I mean, everything that I have in my pipeline is either at a 4.5 all the way up to a 6, and that's ranging from a credit score at a 580 to a 760.
Wow.
So then when you go into non-QMs, they go a little bit higher, but your traditional mortgage, you're going to be either FHA or conventional, is going to be around 4.5 to a 6.5, somewhere in between there, and that'll depend on your loan to value, your credit score, and all that. But,
gotcha.
So everybody's situation is a little different, but the credit scores, the interest rates, this is probably what they're going to be like for a little bit, and they're not bad. They're really not bad.
They're not.
They're not bad.
I try to tell people that, people, the interest rates are super high and whatnot, but over the 50-year average is, I think, 7.75 or 7.63, somewhere right in there. So we're still below the 50-year average, but everyone gets used to the time period where it's at 2.5% all the way up to 4%, and now they forget the total history of mortgages and loans, and where back in the 80s they were upwards of 20%.
Yeah, no, I just think it was a great gift to have in 2020, 2021, those low interest rates. Are they going to come back? I have no idea, but I think we're good right now.
Well, National Association of Realtors say that they feel like at the end of 2023, the interest rate's going to be around 5.2%. So. What are your thoughts on that? I know you just said you think they're going to kind of stay steady around here, so up and down a little bit?
Yeah, all the experts say that.
Okay.
Every expert that's in the real estate industry, especially the mortgage industry, they're saying that last quarter of 23, the interest rates are going to go down.
Going to come down.
Which is going to be phenomenal for your refis. And when you say that 5.2, that is just what the market rate is.
Right.
That just because we're saying 5.2, that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to get a 3.7.
Right.
That's just the total interest
overall
rate.
Look.
So that's for some of the people that are watching that may not understand what
true.
we're talking about.
Very true.
So that 5.2. That's actually really good. Like really good. You're going to be in the 4s. You're going to be in the high 3s if you have phenomenal credit. So yeah.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. I want to thank you for joining us today, Jay. I really appreciate all the insight. I'm sure everyone appreciates the insight, and Want to do a couple more rounds of paper, rock, scissors?
Absolutely.
All right, ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
I'm unstoppable.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, dude.
Scissors. We'll see everybody.